But if we can have banks that can start owning crypto, if we can have a more laissez-faire attitude about non-custodial wallets, if we can kind of do a more hands-off approach regarding DeFi and just sort of in general entrepreneurial activity in this space, that will be extremely good for all the reasons why we're into Bitcoin, I think, and I think that's possible under a Trump. It's not guaranteed under a Trump administration. It's possible.
Current bets on Polymarket suggest that Trump has a 67% chance of winning, which could result in a more crypto-friendly administration and a shift in SEC priorities. Under Biden, the SEC has been resistant to approving crypto products, such as the Solana ETF filed by VanEck and 21 Shares. Nate Garassi from the ETF store notes that regulatory changes, or a designation of Solana as a non-security commodity, would be needed for the approval, which is improbable under the current administration. With the 67% bet valued at over $22 million, it's safe to say that many crypto investors believe that Trump winning the election would have a significantly positive impact on Bitcoin and the whole crypto industry. In a recent video, Fred Krueger discusses the potential impact of this upcoming election on Bitcoin. He believes that the election could significantly influence Bitcoin's future, more so than any single major investment or corporate adoption. With that being said, let's take a look at some clips from Fred Krueger's video update. Please take a little moment to show your support by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Thanks and enjoy the video.
Bitcoin's just above 63,000, and this episode is about the election and Bitcoin. So in a number of spaces that I've been in, Wayne Vaughn, who I think is somebody you should definitely listen to in spaces and follow, Wayne said, which I agree with, that this, if you look at kind of the next period, right, what is the one thing that's going to move Bitcoin? And I think longer term, I think we all believe that the power law is in place and that basically Bitcoin's unstoppable. But what is, over the next year or two, what is the next thing that's going to move Bitcoin the most? Is it somebody like Michael Dell coming in and plopping $1 billion in and buying Bitcoin? Or is it some nation state adopting Bitcoin? Is it, some retailer like Starbucks saying that they accept Bitcoin? No. I think the biggest thing for this cycle, for where we are right now, is the election. And what do I mean? Why do I think the election is so important for Bitcoin? Well, let's take a step back. If you're not in Bitcoin, you're in crypto, the SEC is kind of your worst nightmare, right? So they're going after DeFi, they're going after all kinds of crypto projects. But what about Bitcoin? Why should it concern you if you're just a Bitcoiner? Well, really, there's three reasons that I can think of, the big three reasons. The first reason is, make no mistake, Elizabeth Warren and her gang of thugs are after non-custodial wallets. We saw that they have sued, the SEC has sued MetaMask for being an illegal licensed brokerage. And really they're coming after non-custodial wallets. Now that means hardware wallets, that means mobile phone wallets, that means any kind of way that you have to actually hold your Bitcoin, they're going after you, right? Now, they're not going to go after ETFs. So if you want to hold your wallet, your Bitcoin in an ETF, you can do that so far. But I think that the idea that you might be able to hold your Bitcoin in a non-custodial wallet is at risk under the current administration. I think that's really bad for Bitcoin. It's not only bad just for the price of Bitcoin, but it's really bad for the story of Bitcoin and for the human rights and civil liberty aspect of Bitcoin, which is really why we're here. So the first thing is the ability to hold wallets, right? And they can do that by going after the wallet makers like MetaMask, like Ledger, like Trezor. They could go and start suing them. They could also say that people using those wallets are criminals. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they're going after exchanges, right? So, you want to sell your Bitcoin? Well, maybe if you're selling $1,000 worth of Bitcoin over a month period, not a problem. But you go to try to sell $500,000 of Bitcoin, and all of a sudden you get put into some kind of suspicious account thing, and you better have like rock solid transaction records and fingerprints and everything else, because they're basically going to treat you like a criminal, right? So that's the second phase. So, and then the third thing is sort of just the ability just to pull your bank account, right? So, you're going along in life, you have bills to pay, you have a mortgage, you have rent, and all of a sudden you wake up, you don't have a bank account. And you're banking for 10 years with Bank of America. All of a sudden Bank of America says, I'm sorry, we don't want your business anymore, and we're not telling you why. And it's that simple.
In other news, an article by Bitcoin Magazine states that Sony Group is gearing up to debut a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency exchange in Japan, following its acquisition of Amber Group's local branch, Amber Japan. The new exchange, named S-Blocks, is intended to strengthen Sony's position in the Bitcoin and crypto market. This move shows Sony's increasing focus and interest on Bitcoin and crypto, leveraging the existing Amber Japan exchange and its own global brand recognition to boost adoption. Japan, with its proactive regulation and high consumer awareness, is seen as an ideal market for this expansion. Now, let's get back to what Fred Krueger has to say about how the election can affect Bitcoin.
So they can make your life really, really hard for just being involved in Bitcoin. And being involved meaning just buying or selling some Bitcoin. It could help with the buying of Bitcoin. It could hurt with the selling of Bitcoin. So, again, all these scenarios that I'm describing don't have anything to do with like running a crypto business or doing something like that, or these are just general problems that you're going to have as a Bitcoiner going forward. Now, I think on the opposite side, if we have a more pro-Bitcoin administration, if we allow banks to hold Bitcoin, right? That's another area, I should say. The Biden administration has made it, they're vetoing this bill that's passed, the Senate and Congress, that would allow banks to hold Bitcoin. And they're saying no, banks cannot hold Bitcoin. It's for the benefit of customers. It's not for the benefit of customers. So basically this warpath of banks can't own crypto, anybody who owns as a non-custodial wallet's a suspect, all this stuff is really just an incredible war on crypto from the last 4 years. But if we can have banks that can start owning crypto, if we can have a more laissez-faire attitude about non-custodial wallets, if we can kind of do a more hands-off approach regarding DeFi and just sort of in general entrepreneurial activity in this space, that will be extremely good for all the things, all the reasons why we're into Bitcoin, I think, and I think that's possible under a Trump. It's not guaranteed under a Trump administration. It's possible. So I understand that there's a lot of people who have a lot of very mixed feelings against Trump. I do as well. But I will just say, on this single issue, which matters a lot to us, right, us Bitcoiners, I will say it's very clear to me that the Biden administration and the continuation of whatever that administration will become, if they run a different ticket, is a clear and present danger to Bitcoiners.
Fred Krueger discusses the challenges and potential benefits that Bitcoin faces under different political administrations. Under the current administration, Bitcoin users face significant regulatory challenges. Authorities can make life difficult for those involved in Bitcoin, even for simple buying and selling. This includes targeting non-custodial wallets and restricting banks from holding Bitcoin, which Krueger argues is not in the best interest of customers. Krueger suggests that if a more pro-Bitcoin administration were in power, it could lead to positive changes. These could include allowing banks to hold Bitcoin, adopting a less restrictive stance on non-custodial wallets, and taking a hands-off approach to decentralized finance and entrepreneurial activities in the crypto space. He believes these changes would be highly beneficial for Bitcoin and its users. With all of that said, Krueger stresses that the outcome of the next election is crucial for Bitcoin. He suggests that a Trump administration might be more favorable for Bitcoin compared to the Biden administration, which he sees as a significant threat to Bitcoiners due to its current regulatory stance. Do you agree with his opinion? Let us know in the comments. Now guys, if you're watching this video, you're clearly interested in crypto. If you want to stay most up to date on the crypto and Bitcoin world, make sure to subscribe to my daily 5-minute crypto newsletter. It gives the latest expert predictions, any breaking news, and top on-chain analysis all in a nutshell. Click the first link in the description to join over 60,000 others in becoming a better crypto investor right now. Anyway guys, that's all for today's video. I hope it brought you some value. I'll see you all in the next one, and as always, all the best.